Hey everybody, it's Allison again, www.stlprostretch.com. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Today we're going to go over some stretches for runners. And I would say, I'm a light jogger. I'm not really a runner. I do like to run though. And usually at my age, it takes me about a mile or two to warm up, especially if I'm outside in the cold. So I kind of do really light jogging for like a mile, and then I'll stop, find a park bench somewhere or something, or a tree, and try to do some stretching. So I'm usually standing. I don't want to get down on the ground. So this is for the runners today who, like to warm up with a mile, and then do a little stretching. And it's really going to improve the rest of your run for sure if you do it this way. As usual, work within your range of motion. If something hurts, stop doing it, and always move and resist. Okay, here we go. So you're running along, dun, 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 and you get through that first mile, and you're like, God, I'm tight. I'm so tight. So usually what I like to do first is my calves, and I'm just going to put my hands on the park bench, and sometimes I'll put one forward, sometimes I won't. I'm just going to kind of lift and lower, shift forward and back. If I put one foot forward, I'm going to get a lot more calf stretch. So I'm just kind of doing a calf raise and lower. Sometimes they have the little metal pieces on one side or the middle of the bench, and then you can just put your other foot, like the ball of your foot there. Sometimes I even do this stretch at a stoplight on the road. So I'll just put my hands on the stoplight and do this with my big toe or the toe base of my other foot on the stoplight, and getting that nice deep soleus stretch, gastroc stretch. And then switch legs. So opposite leg back. And you can do them both together. That's fine. I just really, really, really dig this front stretch when I'm at the park bench. If I can find something to put my toe on, it just feels really good. So that's your first stretch. And again, these are just stretches that I tend to do when I'm either at a stoplight or a park bench to loosen myself up. Second stretch. If I can get myself to stop doing the first stretch, is usually I aim for quad. So there's a couple different things you can do for quad. This first one is intense, and I think one of my colleagues called this quads, chairs of death, or something terrible like that. It takes some balance, it does, but if you do it, it will warm your quad up. So I'm going to put my back leg on that bench, and I'm going to kind of lunge down and push my foot into the bench as I back myself up, pull the tailbone under and the belly in, and then push forward and back up again. So this is it's a great quad burner. If you can do it. You might even want to try just doing one leg on this and just seeing which, as for the remainder of your run, which hip flexor and which quad it is feeling like it's got more give. I tried that once, and it did make a difference. So that's your first, little quad stretch. And this is for the people that, this is much easier for me on this side because of my toe on the other. So I'm pushing into the bench, and I'm backing up, tailbone under, belly in. I know, we are working this quad a lot, but it's also getting stretched as you back it up. This one's not for the faint of heart. It is not easy. Now, for you more flexible people, this is not a ki-hara stretch. This is just something I like to do. So it's your traditional, pulling the foot behind you. I'm pushing my foot into my hand, and I'm going to externally rotate. So as you can see, my foot is pointing toward the chair, but my hips are going to move to the side as I push this foot into my hand, and then I'm going to bend to the side and get that wonderful quad stretch. Takes a little balance, so you might want to just hang on to that park bench the entire time, or hang on to that tree. Whoa! Yeah, I definitely usually need something to hang on to when I'm doing this stretch. I'm getting medial hamstring on the other leg too. So pushing the foot into the hand. Great stretch. And you can push it and then pull it in. Woo, that's a good stretch. Awesome. And then we'll switch to the other side. I'm just going to move the chair over. So again, I'm hooking the foot into the hand, and my toes are turned toward the park bench. I am going to open my hips out to the side, push my foot into the hand, and lean into my stretch. And you can even just do this, or that feels great too. So we got a couple more stretches after this one. You may have tried that first stretch and you're like, I'm not doing that one. And that's fine. That's fine. It was just something that one of my colleagues kind of recommended, and I wanted to try it once in the middle of my run. I stopped and I did it, and I really did notice a difference after I did it and started running again. My quads just felt better. All right, next stretch we're going to do, and this is another great one for if you're at like a crosswalk and you've got a stoplight, you can hang on to it. Cross your ankle over. I'm going to push my ankle into the thigh, right above the knee. I'm going to actually dorsiflex, just a better stretch that way. Stick my butt out as much as I can, and then sit down while I'm pushing my foot into my thigh, and then come right back up again. So this is for your abductors, your hips, obviously. It gets a little bit into that biceps femoris, the outer hamstring, and the TFL. I'm going to be doing this stretch more because I'm tight. And I honestly prefer this stretch I prefer this one over the abductor stretch, the figure 4 stretch on our back. I just feel like I get more out of it. Maybe I have a little more force to give. And then switch legs. So cross the ankle over. Push the ankle into the thigh, right above the knee. Dorsiflex the right foot. Push your hips back. Stick your butt out as much as you can. This is your chance, because usually I'm telling you to tuck the tailbone. And now you get to stick it out as much as you want. And sometimes, and I know that on me, this right hip always wants to drop. So play around with keeping it up a little bit and pressing back. It's a much deeper stretch for me than letting it drop like that. So kind of play around with the shift to the hip. And last but not least, we're going to get into the hamstring. A couple different ways you can do this. We can do the tipping bird stretch, which I have in a lot of other my videos. So I'm standing on one leg, and I'm going to use this for balance. My left foot's planted, my right foot comes behind. I'm rotating my right foot inward as I come down. My shoulder to my foot is a straight line. I'm going to reach down with my right hand and come right back up again. The more I turn into that left leg, the more I'm going to feel it in my outer hamstring. So that's a great stretch. Then you can also do it just with the park bench. We have to remember, push the heel into the park bench, both feet straight ahead. As you push the heel, you're going to turn and reach for the foot until you feel a stretch, and then come back up again. I'm pushing my foot into that park bench the entire time. My knee is not locked, and you could even bend it a little bit if you need to. That's fine. But either two of those stretches would work great. I will demonstrate them on the other side, just so you have them. So first stretch, tipping bird. I'm hanging on, and my right foot is planted. And my left foot is going to come back behind me. I'm going to imagine my left toe turning in so that I don't open up. We want to internal rotation as much as you can. And then move the body as one unit from shoulder to foot as you reach down with the left hand until you feel a stretch. And as soon as you do, come right back up again. Your upper body is the resistance. And then the opposite, or the other, it would be on the other leg. I got my foot on the park bench, and I'm going to push the heel into the park bench. And as I do, I'm going to lean forward with my foot. Try to keep my back as straight as I can. And again, the knee is not locked. You could even bend it a little bit. Both toes are pointed toward the park bench, and I'm kind of rotating into the leg. Okay? So those are my favorite stretches for mid-run or before you run. And they're great for doing in the middle of the park or on the street. So hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you got something out of it. Have fun and happy stretching.